I'd like to welcome John Roland, who is the chairman and CEO of Extreme Reach. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'm really excited to be here. I know there's been a number of presentations on data and technology, and I'm going to do something just a little bit different, and be it on advertising and technology. Some of you may have not heard of Extreme Reach before, but I suspect that your teams have. So what we do is we're the technology in the cloud that helps advertisers and their agencies get their commercials across both TV and video. And we have a unique perspective on that, on the evolution of video advertising. And I'm going to take just one brief second to tell you a little bit about my company so you can see from the context of which we come. So we have 10,000 advertisers and agencies as customers. And this includes all of the Ad Age 100, so the largest brands in the world. And we also have 10,000 media destinations as customers, and that includes 7,000 TV destinations and 3,000 of the major publishers. And when I say the TV destinations, these are all the local cable systems, local cable TV, and all the major national networks as well. And every day there's 5,000 commercials ingested into our platform. And these come from 3,000 post houses in North America. And we're getting the most pristine version of that commercial because it's coming right from the editing systems. So whether it's Final Cut Pro or an Avid editing system, it's coming right into our cloud. And we have 850 employees, and we do over $250 million in revenue annually. So all that sums up to just this one point, is that when you're seeing a commercial on TV, there's an 80% chance that that commercial lives in Extreme Reach and moves through Extreme Reach, and we're delivering it to every commercial, every screen or device. Okay, now, let's get started. So what I'd like to do is introduce to you this little gem. This is a 75-year-old commercial, and it made its debut in the 1940s, and it was one of the very first 30-second commercials.
Hey, Susie Q, what's cooking with you?
Your teeth look whiter than new. My teeth aren't new, but my toothpaste is new Pepsodent. Get with it, kids. New package, new flavor, new formula, too. Means brighter smiles for me and you.
You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Okay, so obviously the era of sight, sound, and motion is here. And basically, once the advertisers got a hold of this, there was no going back. And you could see the families actually singing in their living rooms to these commercials, and there's a whole new form of powerful brand marketing that was born. Now, fast forward to today, though. Media is being disrupted. There's multiple devices in the room. People are multitasking, and attention spans are getting much shorter. So the question is the creative side of video advertising getting disrupted as well, like the media side? And what I mean by that is that normally the brands would tell their stories in 30 seconds, and they'd have the punchline at the end. But does that work in an era of a younger generation of consumers on the internet who crave brevity? And the real question is, are the 15 and 30-second commercials of yesteryear gone? So what I'd like to do is talk about a few examples. Now, these are shiny examples of advertising formats that are in process today. And some of the biggest publishers out there and the social networks have dismissed some of the older advertising and gone and disrupted and innovated with these new formats. So let me give you a few examples. This is a native ad right here. And native advertising is designed to blur the lines between the actual ad and the content itself. And the concept is if you can have advertising that is so good, so relevant and so unintrusive that you can have the consumer stop and engage with that ad. That's exactly what you want. Now, this ad was produced by the Wall Street Journal for Netflix, and it was their Narcos series. And they do some really cool things with interviewing DEA agents and photographs and images and even interactive maps. It's really immersive, and it's really, really good advertising. Now, this is an example of vertical video. So what they're doing is you're actually shooting the commercial vertically so that when a consumer watches it, they don't have to turn their smartphone horizontally to watch that commercial. And Snapchat was an early pioneer of this. And what's really interesting is they say that the advertisers, what they tell the advertisers is that the viewer gets to see that commercial to the end up to 9 times more frequently. So not 9% more frequently or 90%, it's 9 times more frequently they're getting to the end of that commercial when you use vertical video. This is a snackable ad. And this is a Vine or a Vine-like ad, 6 seconds long. And I'll never forget, it was 2013, and it was Monday Night Football, and it was on ESPN, and Dunkin' Donuts ran their first snackable ad. And I was like, oh my God, the era of snackable advertising is here. And this is an interactive ad. And what you can do is you can start off with a 30-second commercial, but you can do things like adding widgets to it. And here, there's a canvas widget around that commercial, and then where it says tap to learn more, they call that a hotspot. And you can put a hotspot on a different product and things like that. And what you can also do is, on the right here, you can have different story endings, so people can select the ending that they want, or you could be having other videos of that brand that you can go see. And the concept is this, is they want you to actively engage with that commercial as opposed to sitting back passively and watching the commercial. So, with all these new formats, with native being deeply immersive, really blurring the lines between the advertising and the content, vertical viewing, seeing that 9 times more frequently, stackable ads, they're faster and cheaper to make. And then with interactive ads, they have off-the-charts engagement. So who wouldn't want that? Now, with that being said, there are limitations. You know, alas, nothing is perfect. And there are some limitations to each of these. When it comes to native video, it's expensive. It can be 6 figures to create that kind of engagement. And even though that 6 figures might not be as much as a 30-second commercial, because you can only run it on one web publisher, now all of a sudden that production is very expensive. Because by design, it blends in with that publisher's content and doesn't move easily to the other publishers. And therefore, you have limited reach. So remember that with native advertising, you have limited reach. And then you also have low frequency because it's long form. And I know advertisers a lot of times try to influence the hearts and minds and behavior of the consumers through frequency by seeing that commercial 3, 4, 5 times or so. So you don't get that with native. With vertical video, it's a specialized production. And if you ever hear me use the word specialized or customized, that means more production dollars, okay? More time to produce it. And not every publisher out there supports vertical video. So once again, limited reach. And then the snackable ads, they're very short. It's really hard to tell a brand story in 6 seconds. And it's even harder to take a 15 and 30-second commercial that you wrote and cut it down to 6 seconds because that had its own storyboard, and you really need a separate way to do it to engage a consumer and a viewer in 6 seconds. So, separate production budget. And then with interactive, if you're doing things like having multiple story endings that the user can pick, once again, that's a kind of an added cost. That's another production budget. And you have limited reach for this reason. To be able to see an interactive ad, the publisher needs to support VPaid. And that's an IAB standard, and not all publishers support VPaid, maybe half of them or so. So limited reach, once again. So, as it pertains to the video advertising of the future, we believe that innovation and disruption is here to stay, and it's only going to grow. But we also believe that you can incorporate the tried and true amidst all of the new. And we believe that the 10-second, 15-second, 30-second, even 60-second ad is going to stand the test of time. And a few reasons for that. The end game doesn't change. So brands need reach and frequency. And they need to get in front of their consumers as fast as they can to have real prospects so they can try to change the hearts and minds of those consumers in their wallets. And they need an approach that can transcend any screen or device. So that's the key. We're talking about TV of tomorrow. These ads have to be able to transcend any screen or device. And shiny object fatigue is real. If you've ever heard of vendor fatigue, what that means is the advertisers that are dealing with all the new digital vendors in ad tech. They come and they go. Some of them are smaller companies, and it's real. And shiny object fatigue is real as well for this reason. You know, if you're a publisher and you have a fantastic new ad format, let's say it has greater ROI, greater engagement, it does a lot of things that are really fantastic, and you're looking out to the advertiser and you're saying, you can use my new ad format, and this will do wonderful things for you. And that's all real, and that's true. The issue is if you're looking at the equation from the advertiser's perspective, if all of the publishers have these new ad formats, there isn't enough time in the day and there isn't enough dollars in the budget to be able to accomplish all of that. And there's a concept that high-quality ads necessitate scale. So on average, to create these 30-second commercials, advertisers spend $350,000. And they do that because their agencies are creating storyboards and they're approving storyboards, and you might shoot the commercial onshore or offshore. You might use regular talent, you might use celebrity talent, whatever it might be. But if you're putting your dollars like that behind a beautifully created piece of advertising, you can't sprinkle it on a few sites. It has to go far and wide. And that's what the 30-second ad can do. It goes far and wide. So therefore, actually the $350,000 looks pretty small when you're going across dozens or hundreds or thousands of destinations, TV and video. And production budgets aren't unlimited. So advertisers don't want to double their production budgets. They don't want to increase by 50%. They don't want to increase by 25% if they don't have to, or if there's not a great reason to do so. And so with the 10-second, 15-second, 30-second commercials, even 60-second commercials, I'll say, that can transcend any screen or device, they're very simple, they're very scalable, and they provide a lot of value. Now, don't take my word for it. So this is Facebook, and they're talking about premium video ads that are designed for advertisers who want reach with large audiences, and Facebook takes 15 and 30-second commercials. And on top of that, what they do is they use TV-like metrics. They use targeted GRPs, and they actually use Nielsen themselves to do the audience measurement on these. And as you can see, it says TV campaigns extend reach via Facebook. So Facebook's saying, you have that whole TV campaign, just move it right online with me, okay? This is Snapchat. So Snapchat is slowly but surely letting more brands run long video ads. And I'll say so because they used to only take 10-second ads or less. Remember, this is the younger generation, the teenagers, my teenagers that are on Snapchat. Well, they used to only take advertisements that were 10 seconds or less. Today, they not only take 15s and 30s, they take 60-second and 90-second commercials on Snapchat, and the likes of Unilever, Fox, Paramount are doing it right now, today. And this is Google. So Google's known this for a long time. In their TrueView product, they've been running 15, 30, 60-second commercials for a long time. And the difference was they just didn't charge you for it unless you got all the way through that commercial to the end. But they've been on this for years now. Twitter. So Twitter's new videos are conveniently the same length as a TV commercial. Conveniently the same length. And Twitter is now offering 30-second and longer skippable pre-roll ads. And this is Instagram. We'll end with Instagram, just another example. So Instagram takes on Snapchat and YouTube with 60-second videos. So they're not going to be left out of the game. They want to jump in. If that's where people are going, they want to try to tap that $75 billion as well on the TV side. And Instagram extends video ads to go 60 seconds to score TV dollars. Okay? So what it all comes down to is this. Publishers and social networks are embracing 15-second, 30-second, 60-second commercials. And the answer is why? Now the question is why? They're making it easier for advertisers to attain reach. They need scale. They need reach. And it's always a good thing if you're making it easier on your customer to use your product or offering. And they want to tap the big TV budgets. So what we're saying is this, is if you can have your steak and sizzle too, that's where we believe the future of advertising is. If you can use your 15s and 30s and get massive scale, massive reach, advertisers want to do that. And if you can complement it with really good advertising formats of the new age, as the budgets allow and as the time allows, that's fantastic too. It's highly complementary. The key is this. These big advertisers like General Motors and Ford and Coca-Cola, they're not looking to spend $10 million on a video campaign. They're looking to spend, over the course of a year, hundreds of millions of dollars to support their many billions in revenue for their company. So they need this kind of scale. So if we're unlocking the promise of video advertising in the future, the question is that beautiful 15, 30-second spot might have been in front of us all the time. And what I want to do is leave you with one commercial. Speaking of a brilliant commercial.
Don't thank me. Thank the savings.
You can't skip this Geico ad because it's already over. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Great. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great conference.